Hi everybody and welcome to this video for the weekly horoscope from the 6th to the 13th of February 2020. The moon is in Cancer from the 5th to the 7th of February at 10:44 p.m. The week starts off asking you to focus on your emotional life. This is a good period to nurture yourself and loved ones. Watch out for rapid changes in your emotional state. Do anything you can to seek comfort. Tap into your sensuality, but do not overindulge. Take time out to listen to your inner voice and spend quality times with those you care about. During this period, refrain from speedy activities. Acting in haste will not provide fruitful gain. So remember to slow down your energy. I'm going to put Excellent Mantra by Janae Alkio. Link in the description. Listen to that anytime you feel stressed out this week. The period from the 5th to the 7th of February is also a prosperous period for those of you who are involved in law, antique, or for those waiting news related to these matters. Don't rush out to spend any profits during this period. Instead, spend time researching new investments or put money in a savings account. Do not rush into credit agreements with high interest. I know it may be hard, but look into other ways to get the extra money you need. If your hands are forced and you do need to seek out money, make sure you prioritise paying off any loans that you get. So if you are forced to go to these companies, please make sure that you do prioritise paying it back, because it will just bring you into more distress, even if you have to starve or buy basic supermarket food for the month, because if you don't, you may face problems later down in the year, and you don't want money issues they do stress us out, but we don't want to be focusing on them so much this year. Capricorn energy, the stellium, wants us to focus on getting our foundations right, setting and securing our foundations. That means learning delayed gratifications. There are things that we may want to buy but we can't afford them. There may be trips with friends we may want to go on but we can't afford them at this time. But if we cut back for for the rest of this year, or even 3 to 6 months, then you will be able to enjoy the things that you've had to rob yourself off during this period later on in the year. It's very important that you do all you have to do to save money, even if this means cutting back on spending on clothes, food and entertainment. Take time out to meditate or listen to affirmation speakers like Ernest Holmes, Florence Oversin, Louise Hay, Tara Brach, Neville Goddard or Walter Russell, as this will help you soothe and reprogram your subconscious mind. Tapping into your inner strength and healing powers will help you overcome this period, starting the work of healing any psychological wounds that are holding you back from moving forward. The universe, moon and planetary placements are providing an abundance of energy that can help you overcome any trial and tribulation at this time. Increase your self-awareness, take time to reflect on your past mistakes and make plans not to repeat your past. Spend these 2 days during the 5th to the 7th of February in constructive pursuits, not in self-destructive ones. So avoid partaking in arguments, unnecessary debates, drinking too much or intoxicating yourself in any way to a state that you don't know what you're doing. Traditionally, the period of the snow moon is when snowfall reaches its peaks and individuals have to rethink their living conditions, making plans for the harvest of the summer. This is a good time to give gratitude for all you have in your life, thinking of the habits, relationships and beliefs you are ready to leave behind, starting to do the work to walk away from the things that are holding you back. This is a good time to give gratitude for all you have in life, thinking of the habits, relationships and beliefs you are ready to leave behind and let go of, making plans to start to do the work which will enable you to walk away from the things that are holding you back in life, including your own negative beliefs. What thoughts and criticisms and baggage that maybe you've been carrying from childhood that you really need to consider letting go of so that you can progress in life. The full moon phase is when the moon and the sun are opposed to each other. This creates tension in an attempt to make way for a setting period to occur in nature's processes and in each individual's life. The full moon is the time to focus on your inner world, analysing the contents of your subconscious mind, taking the painful yet necessary steps to look at any baggage you have not let go of. You may experience power struggles in your relationship and things may end suddenly during the full moon phase. This may induce a feeling of suffering and pain, but remember, after the rain comes the sunshine. I'm not trying to be blasé about it, but life is an ebb and flow. We have day, we have night, we have love, we have hate, we have good experiences, we have bad. We need to train ourselves to remain centered as the ebb and flows come in and out of our life, which is harder put into practice than said, because especially when we lose a loved one and stuff like that. I've just recently lost my grandmother, so I really understand. But knowing and believing in the higher principles of nature and believing in reincarnation, this has helped me deal with my grief. So the trick is to find anything, whether it be meditation, listening to music, going for a walk, going for a swim, going for a run, that helps you remain centered and find that balance in yourself. At this point, it's different for everybody, but the trick is to find what works for you, because after all range of human emotions is needed for us to grow and for the soul to grow. And the full moon serves to bring issues to the surface which needs to be dealt with as they are hindering your progression in life. The full moon is all about removing the things in our life that stagnates us or making us aware, it illuminates the people in our life, the habits in our life, the emotions in our life that's holding us back. Full moons are a good time to partake in cleansing and rituals. Maybe burn some incense, take a long bath, set out some crystals, listen to relaxation music, write down all the things you want to release in your life on paper and burn it. Sitting under the moon in your car or staring at the moon through your window will help you tune into higher vibrations. Any ritual that makes you feel any sense of release will help during this moon phase. But I don't mean running to using toxic relationships and substances to mask. I mean any process that will help you slowly face up to the truth and realities of your life. Putting things out also, like crystals or manifestation journals, dream journals, under the full moon will help revitalize the energy, help release the negativity in there, and making room for new energy. When the moon is in Leo, it is a good time if you feel the inclination to put yourself into the spotlight. This is a favourable time for sports, celebrations, entertainment. You may feel inclined to learn about your own or another culture. Let your hair down a bit. Yes, you may have to deal with some very harsh emotions, but you can still leave space for smiles and humour. Sporting bets may pay off, but remember to only gamble what you can afford to lose. All that being said, now is an excellent time to take a risk if your intuitions tell you to, but not in regards to property. Wait until the moon in Leo period is over to start any new property investments. Although if you've been working towards a goal, now is the time your venture may take off. You will receive encouragement to reach your goals from others. Maybe a venture capitalist may invest in your enterprise. Develop strategies to overcome any obstacles and think before you react to any stress or outside opposition. Bide your time, increase your patience, concentrate and focus. On the 9th of February at 11:39 p.m, the moon will enter Virgo and leave Virgo on the 11th of February at 11:37 p.m. Now is a good time to focus on getting your household affairs in order. Weigh up the pros and cons of any issue which is bothering you. Now is the time to look into your household budget and increase spending in the areas you need to. This will benefit you and your family in the long run. So earlier in the video I said yes, save, but also cut back on frivolous things that you may be doing, you know, going out in bars, buying lunches, spending £10 on your lunches at, you know, at work. This money could be better redirected into spending for your household. Make your sandwiches at home. You know, you and your family can, you know, make dinner together instead of going out. You know, finding ways to enlighten your home during the Virgo period of the moon will really benefit you during the 9th and 11th of February. If you have any hard work you've been putting off, now is the time to start. You will see that all practical tasks, any efforts you put towards improving yourself will pay off. You know, so take up that course, anything that can improve your well-being and career skills, go for it. Some of you may get married while the moon is in Virgo or make any other serious commitment. You may experience sublime sexual experiences, reaching new heights. The moon will enter Libra at 11:37 p.m. on the 11th of February and leave on the 14th of February at 12:37 a.m. when the moon is in Libra. A nice time to do anything that brings harmony into your life. Rearrange your furniture, tidy out your car. Anything that brings a sense of beauty into your life will bring you happiness. Now is not the time to make any decisions, as you will find yourself going round in circles. The moon moves into waning gibbous phase, and it's a good time to socialise with your close ones, or you may decide to partake in self-care and healing deep rooms. So, you know, what I'm saying about making decisions, write down all your options, but don't make any firm decisions on either, because after this period past the moon in Virgo, as it moves into Libra and then into Scorpio, Sagittarius, around that time, towards the end of the month, around the 20th, is better to make firm decisions. Now, while the moon's in Virgo from the 9th to the 11th and right up until the 20th, it's just time to take note of plans and options and then make your decisions after the 20th of this month. Some of you may decide to form a new business or romantic partnership during this time. As long as you're in soul compatibility, making sure you can handle each other's weaknesses and strengths, all will go well. So going back to what I was just saying, you know, yeah, you may meet your love of your life, but if you've been waiting all this time, just take things slow, you know, really taking the person's words and more importantly their actions, and make sure that they're aligned with where you're, not only where you're at in life at the moment, but where you want to go to as well. Now, some of you may decide to focus on spiritual or philosophical matters. Be watchful that you don't fall into any destructive thinking or any other illusions while the moon's in Virgo. Yes, delve into the mystical, but use the focal energy of the South Node, Saturn, Pluto, Pallas, Jupiter, which are all still in Capricorn, as solid rocks to ground your visions into reality. Pallas will infuse you with wisdom and the structure you need to cope with your inner turmoil. The sun remains in Aquarius during this period. You may meet original and creative individuals or pursue humanitarian activities fighting for the causes that you believe in. Mercury's in Pisces from the 4th of February. All communications will centre around spiritual, mystical, or emotional topics, so guard against letting your emotions lead you into overreacting. You may experience strong intuitions this week, even experience tuning into other people's thoughts. You may spend some time enchanting your psychic abilities. You may also find yourself drifting off into fantasy realms one minute, forced to face reality the next, due to the influence of a lot of planets, especially Pluto and Jupiter being in Capricorn. You know, you'll be given visions. Pluto will be sending you, inspiration, and Saturn will be putting on the brakes on the South Node as well. Because Saturn and the South Node are also in Capricorn. Venus moves into Aries on the 8th of February. You may experience impulsive behaviour in your relationships. Some of you may leave your relationship suddenly or start a new one during the next month or so while Venus is in Aries. You may behave aggressive, which may or may not be out of character, or someone may pursue you in a forceful way. Mars is also in Sagittarius, adding extra fuel to the fire. You or someone else may be insistent in getting their own way, so proceed with caution, buyer beware. Yeah, especially if you're buying a car as well, don't let anyone push you during this period, into making decisions. Just chill out, weigh up the pros and cons, write them down, and make the decisions, after the 20th of this month. You may find yourself in a position where you have to keep certain people at bay, otherwise things will kick off. You may have to think, you do have to think before making any reactions to anything that's said, getting into deep commitment. Although I mentioned some of you may be getting married, but still proceed, I think what I'm trying to say, my point is, make sure the choices you are making during this week are the ones you really want to choose. And if you feel like your back's against the wall, just say to whoever else who may be involved in the situation, I need some time out, and go off and think in your own space and time if you really want to go ahead with that business partnership, with the new relationship, with the marriage, etc. Also watch out for anyone who comes to you with a get rich scheme, or maybe demanding large sums of money off you. Oftentimes when people do that, they're in debt, and it's good to help people out, but sometimes you put yourself in the same position the very people you're trying to help out. So do your research, only gamble what you can afford to lose during this week, as I mentioned. For you gardeners and farmers out there, the whole week is a good time to plant root and seedy fruit vegetables. The influence of Cancer provides the water needed to enrich life. If you have crops you need to transplant, now is a good time to do so. Plants that can handle it will take very well to fertilization during this period also. When the moon is in Leo and Virgo, it's a good time to get rid of any failing crops and harvest any that are ready. Taking time to dispose of weeds and pests will bring you great dividends in the future in the summer's harvest. When the moon is in Libra, it's a good time to plant vines, hard root vegetables like beets, parsnips, and aromatic herbs and flowers. So this concludes this week's weekly horoscope from the 6th to the 13th, 14th of February. See you in a week's time. You all take care now. Please subscribe and share. Bye bye for now.